Welcome in, Valorant fans, Mississippi State fans, and gamers alike. We got some nationals on deck this evening. I'm Dancing Buffalo. I'm going to be alongside Beau, bringing you MSU Black in the NECC Division 8 Nationals. It's the first round. They're going up against SMSU Mustangs Brown. That's Southern Minnesota State. And Beau, I know that you got the inside scoop on this Mississippi State roster, so tell us a little bit about them.
Yes, I do. Thank you for the introduction. This mini state roster is starting off tonight playing Ascent. So we have a lot of talented players on this roster. Most notably, team leaders like Rob Solis on the team and Tyler Panda. Great players who are electric for the team, make a lot of stuff happen, and have really led the team to getting to this point, getting to nationals as the first seed. We're starting off today with Ascent, a map that traditionally hasn't really been MSU's favorite. I'm interested to see whether they picked it, who picked it in this scene. But normally, this is a map where your Sova is a big pick here. It's Sova's stomping ground. MSU doesn't have a traditional Sova player, so I'm interested to see if they opt into playing Sova, having someone get in that uncomfortable role, or two, ditching the Sova altogether and just sticking to comfort.
Yeah, Sova cannot be understated here on Ascent. The recon darts and lineups can provide a ton of information. Obviously, that Hunter's Fury used to seek out kills when needed, but also to deny defuses and plants alike on those spike sites. But this is nationals. This is a best of three. It's a single elim bracket. As you stated, Mississippi State Black coming in as the number one seed, going up against the Mustangs coming in at the number 8 seed. Obviously, they're looking to play spoiler here. And as we get into the agent selection, I agree. I think we're used to seeing Cypher, we're used to seeing Jet, we're used to seeing like Teo, but it'll be really interesting to see as we see some hovers coming through if that Sova does come into play. The early hovers for the Mustangs, no Sova on their side, and it doesn't look like we're seeing any early preference for that Sova on Mississippi State side either.
Yeah. So interesting when I look over when I look over and see states picks, we've got Yusk on that KO. Yusk has talked to me a lot about this KO. It's one of his favorite picks. Yusk likes to transition. Traditionally, a Sentinel player has really been enjoying playing these flash initiators. So initiators like KO with a bit of flash, Breach been really successful for him. KO he likes a lot because Ascent very it's hard to describe. There's only like two ways to go attack a site. You either go straight through main or you split through mid. And KO does a great job of shutting down that straight through main push because you can just throw that knife, detain everyone suppressed, can't use their abilities, and you can stall and wait for your teammates to rotate. So that's why KO is a preferred pick on this map for use. So looking over to SMSU, they're interesting. They're opting to go with double smoke, so the Brimstone and the Omen. I'm interested to see with that Brimstone if it's going to be what the purpose of it. Is it a comfort pick? Is it someone who has lots of lineups and is looking to play diffuse denial? I think we've got some interesting comments coming out. Looking forward to see who succeeds.
Yeah, I agree. The Brimstone being an interesting pick, especially when Astra has been such a vital part of metas over the past few seasons, it seems. But we are going to see some mirror jet players, the mirror omens, as you stated. We do see a Cypher coming out in Krylik for SMSU, and then the Killjoy go and Chamber for Mississippi State. A lot of defensive utility across those agents, but that chamber ultimate, it's, I say free, it's an ultimate invested, but the free operator essentially can do a lot of damage with that one-shot kill potential.
Yeah, the Jet and the Chamber is a powerful duo. It's a lot of things you can just dry swing out because you have a dash slash a TP to just TP back to safety. So Mississippi State going to be looking for a lot of opening picks to get the round advantage in their favor.
And as you say, looking for the opening pick, also starting on the attack side, we'll have to see how many rounds they are able to stack up before you can almost say more utility and usage out of the Killjoy. but it looks like the early aggression is going to be towards B. The omens on either team here. Those initial smokes, you got that 35, 40-second cooldown. Even if you haven't invested those credits into the second smoke to have off rip. We see some little bit of pistol investment here, but Krylik holding down mid with that spy cam, not seeing anything, and it looks like it's probably going to be a count play. Yep, on the count, you see the pop flash come through. Solace may have gotten a little bit of a team flash there, but the jet smoke coming through and the early kills on this site going the way of Mississippi State. They take down 2, and that's going to be sight. Spike should be free to go down as U starts to plant here. And now for SMSU, the retake, they do break the door out of mid-market. So they do have 2 points of entry. Darkness dashing in, not getting taken down. Krylik is going to be one shot, however. Dank getting a kill with that classic before going down as Hyena gets a kill of their own. And as the cyber cage goes down, Krylik not able to find the shots. Dank Muffin was low, does find some shots, but not able to find the kills. But Yusk with 3 on the round, as that's the first one, goes the way of MSU.
Yeah. Something that was really funny to see in the grand finals of the spring semester to watch is normally used to someone that's not like fragging out a ton for this team. But it all changed when Yus got onto that initiator role. He seemed a lot more comfortable. And even though Flash his teammates a little bit there, my bad, he still wins the round by getting 3 kills for his team. So hey, you win some, you lose some.
Yeah, and I don't, even with that team flash, I don't think it was detrimental. If anything, it may have been just a set call where Solace was lining up for that smoke down Speedway and wasn't dashing out into it. And as you stated before we got started here, Yusk loves being able to swing off those pop flashes to find that frag potential. So it looks like this call has been made. It's going to be outside A this time, making noise. They do get that ult orb. Solish dashing through, and Use good for 2 on the Spectre. The SMG doing a lot and finding a lot of value even at range up onto heaven. Those Omen smokes denying the initial takesies backsies from SMSU, and that Omen teleport. Krylik not quite expecting that range. The sidearm from Panda not finding any value, but the Stinger, the SMG buys. If you know, you get the spike down, you get the kills and win the round, you get that force up onto that second, and against the pistols, Mississippi State has a very clean one.
Yeah. So I'm really interested to see now is because you've got those 6 kills, and I plus think a plant in there, or maybe an ult orb, something to get him that, I believe it is 8 he needs for that ult. So he already on the bonus round, he already has that KO ult. I'm interested to see if Mississippi State formulates a plan around that, if they try and use it somehow, hitting into the cipher, detaining the cipher, and making the trips not work anymore. That might be, it's an interesting thing to watch for in this round.
Yeah, that's a decision that's going to have to be made, because if you utilize that ult, that can, you know, snowball into these rifles of SMSU, and that's free guns for those that stay up. Dank Muffin, the one player that went down, did reinvest in the rifle of the Bulldog, you know, look, step up, not quite the Vandal, but takes down 2 in mid, and that is a free upgrade there. Carlos hanging out, oh, and gets the swing onto Solace, not able to find the shots with the SMG up close, and Krylik finds 2 of his own with the Phantom. And now it's a 1v2 here. It is just Yusk left, has the ultimate if he so chooses. 72 HP, has the knife back, but Spike is dropped into mid-market here. Plenty of ammunition, close range here, but is he going to expect the off angle? Doesn't, and Krylik ends up getting 3 on the round. They did have the upgraded rifles, but on the investment, still losing 3, probably a little more than what they were hoping for.
Yeah, I think it started off great for Mississippi State last round. Dank Muffin getting 2 picks out mid, and as they transition into the B split, the person that really saved the round for SMSU was Carlos. Carlos was getting pinched in market, really shouldn't have gotten any, and it should have been a 5v2 in the end of the round, and Mississippi State win for the bonus round. But fortunately, Carlos gets 2 and brings the round back for SMSU.
Gets 1 on the board. Rifles reinvested. We see the full buy from Mississippi State here. Still, only 1 ultimate online. Solace does see the counter jet player on defense peeking up close to that archway, but the Omen smoke going to stall out. Darkness not going to push through that. Dank Muffin playing up close, however. Maybe trying to bait out the shots and having the angle. Nice crosshair placement for Dank Muffin. Going to be utilizing that Nano Swarm to force out the breach. Only the Ghost in hand. And it looks like Carlos, a little overzealous there, goes down as well. That's 2 players down. Knowing they at least have the numbers posturing towards that B site here. The rotation's coming through, but they execute out onto the site. They make it to Boat, but the Ghost from Zenark gets Solace. Panda immediately trades out. Kevin playing up close, gets one. Not good for the second, however. Only 1 man left, and gets a second through the box. But Dank Muffin, who is playing right outside of that mid connector, is able to find the last. Not able to get spiked down in time for that extra credit, but that is a 3rd round for Mississippi State.
That was a very similar round to the bonus that we saw, where Dank Muffin swinging out mid, not really supported by much, but just his own gunplay, and SMSU falling for it, losing the gunfight, not really supporting themselves either, and that gives Mississippi State an advantage in the round. They rush into a hit, and this time they end up winning out those fights, so it ends up for a round there for Mississippi State.
And something that I'm interested to see and continue to watch as this matchup goes forward through these maps is I'm not used to seeing an aggressive Killjoy, but Dank Muffin was the farthest one pushed into the map on that round, at least onto B site there. You see the knife come out. Yus had to step out of that breach ability there. Darkness using that updraft, trying to spot any information. Only a pistol in hand, however. But Dank Muffin had crept into Tree Room, takes down Darkness, and now Zenark is on his own, gets the swing, but loses the gunfight to that Phantom, and that's a free A side for Mississippi State. All 5 members up. Panda's pushed up. Is he going to get timinged here? Does take down Hyena. Has the Vandal, is able to escape with his life down to 25 HP. The teammate in Solace there to clean up the 5th, and that's a flawless 5th round. That's a 4th on the board for Mississippi State.
Wow, that was pretty impressive from Mississippi State. First of all, we saw that. I think that's the 3rd first blood in a row for Dank Muffin, where he's walks through mid, and because of his silence and not really being supported by a lot of util, it's catching SMSU off guard a lot. So that's the 3rd first blood he's gotten just his gunplay, and he's really been opening up these rounds for Mississippi State, allowing them to win.
Put some respect on the Killjoy being the opener, not just the turret gamer. You see a little bit of a lineup there. No one had peeked out from SMSU. And as I say peeked out, the Odin from Zenark at range takes down Panda, crept out of Tree Room. Solace does trade one back from mid archway. But Kevin going to take that ult orb there. We're starting to see ultimates come online. That's 3 for each team here. Both Omens. KO still holding on. Is used, holding on to that ultimate. Killjoy holding, Dank Muffin holding on to one as well. Now going to pop it here, force them off site. No ultimate's going to be invested to break it. They're instead going to respect it and back off. There's a little bit of room left in hell, but outgunned, outmanned, and taken down. Site is Mississippi State's. Spike not gone down yet. But Yusk bringing up the rear with that spike. Going to be planted. The ult invested as well. I am seeing that the Brimstone ult was utilized from SMSU and did break one ult. Not going to get the other. Kevin falls and Yusk falls with their life. But Kevin now playing down in hell. Dank Muffin with the crossfire, though, able to get the kill before the Brim smoke drops. The Odin ringing true for a second. But in the 1v1 here, Kevin has timing on his side. Not necessarily needing to play the timing off this smoke here, but is going to get it. The headshot is good. Phantom not the one-shot headshot, but Zenark had taken enough damage that one bullet was all it took. Kevin escapes with his life, even though Spike was getting down low, and that's a 5th round for Mississippi State here.
Yeah, it was really impressive for Mississippi State. They recognized they had 2 great ults to take the site, even if the Cypher's on it, which is that KO and KJ ult. And so first they try using the KJ ult, but Brimstone reacts with the Brimstone ult, kind of cancel each other out there. But by using the KO ult and the jet updrafting, dashing over the trips, they were able to pick off the Cypher and ultimately win that round.
Yeah, did get down close in the 1v1. Not going to be reinvesting in that Odin. Very, very financially costly here. Grabbing the ult orb once again. Breaks the spy cam, so it's going to be on cooldown. Did spot out 2. But it could have been a ruse. There's only 2 outside A. A bit split here for Mississippi State all across the map, seeking some information. They do break the Chambers teleport. So getting a little bit of information and getting back, we do see the defensive Omen smoke outside of A main. On the pistols here, playing close to the shorty. Krillic could get one cheeky kill here if he is patient enough. Not a lot of noise being made, however. Panda, however, gets the headshot. Xenar goes down. And Dank Muffin on the W key is hit with the paranoia, able to tuck away, but does not see darkness close. Yusuke able to trade out Carlos, however, and now Krillic's on the move. Is going to make noise off the drop, but no one from Mississippi State hears it. Smartly holds the trigger discipline, not able to find that long range kill with the shorty. However, the Guardian is going to do just that. The free gun upgrade, and now Krillic has a rifle. And Salas never knew. He never made noise getting back, but the call is made. Spike's going to go down in the 2v2 here. Neural Theft online, one from the shadows for Mississippi State. Probably not going to see that utilized. Go flank and stank, probably unnecessary, but Kevin spotting it out. But Yu's not able to find the timing on the freeze. The swing does get the paranoia, however, and once again, Kevin playing timing here. Brim's got some smokes to play with. Smokes off Beau, but do they expect the swing? He doesn't. The tap fire. Not able to find the headshot. Does find the kill, and that's a 6th round and 4th in a row for Mississippi State. Really strong showing in this first half on this attack side of Ascent.
Yeah, I really liked SMSU's game plan there. They knew that Mississippi State was transitioning into that B split, running through B, and then by bringing off their Omen flash, they were able to get a few. Unfortunately, I think Krillic didn't have the right weapon for the job in that scenario. He ended up getting one, but he was funnily just walking behind him with a shorty. He's like, I can't really shoot you. This is only good at close range. There's nothing I can really do here. So he has to walk behind. That was pretty funny. But
I'm sure the comms were immaculate, but as you said, not able to find the effect with the arsenal that was brought into that round. Then we did see, picked up the Vandal out of mid-market and did get 1 kill before falling in the 2v2. Mississippi State drops Spike outside of A main. And Dank Muffin once again creeping up. Krillic getting a little overzealous, tries to step through the Omen smoke and pays for it with his life. And now Carlos also hiding, maybe hoping that Mississippi State wouldn't expect 2, but Spike's been walked up. Not found, however. Spotted out now. Solace with the tap fire. Damage done. Down to 1 HP as a defensive jet. Dank Muffin baited out with the reload, but Kevin there to finish it up. Knife is taken out. They see there's no one close. Smoke goes out into heaven. Jet dash onto site. Solace takes space. And the Breach and Brim, the bearded brothers from the beta. Not brothers canonically, but they are in my mind. One falls. It's just Breach. Ult is online, but in the 1v5, probably going to hold it behind. Again, invested in that Odin, and looks like the call may be to save it playing into the 8th round here. Again, a heavy investment. And in the 1v5, Dank Muffin the only one that's taken any damage. That'd be a tall task for anyone. With the knife there, he is spotted out. We'll have to see if, and it looks like they are going to try to chase this down and take the weapon out of the hands of it. Free fire not good, even through the crouch spray. Panda takes it out, and that's a flawless for Mississippi State. And taking that gun out of the hands of Xenark, it's just kind of insult to injury for SMSU, and we see the timeout coming through for the defenders.
Yeah, I think the story of this half is that Mississippi State's been doing a good job of denying information from SMSU. SMSU doesn't really have a SOV or anything, so they have to, when they need information, instead of just throwing a dart out there, they have to clear it with their guns. They have to go walk out and clear it and make sure that, okay, this is clear. And Mississippi State's been doing a good job recognizing that, holding lots of space just with gunplay, and now you're just walking into our crosshairs, giving us an advantageous fight. So when SMSU start for that information, we've been seeing people, especially Dank Muffin, just holding space, either whether it be mid or A main, and getting that opening pick early, and that transitions to a good like a 5v4 and an advantageous situation for Mississippi State.
Oh, absolutely. You did see on the scoreboard there, Tank Muffin leads the lobby already in double digit kills with 10. And if you look at the economy, Mississippi State is cushioned. Like they are so set for at least another 2 rounds, and there's only 4 left in the half. And on the flip side, SMSU, they're playing off, looks like it's going to be some pistols and light armor, a couple of sheriffs here, a lot of potential with the headshots if they can find it here, playing for next. But if you're SMSU, you kind of have to figure out a way to stop the bleeding. You've given up 5 in a row. They've already built the nest egg. Mississippi State has in the money department. We see some shots, a bit of a whiff there, but Panda and Kevin do come out on top before Panda falls. Solace not able to find a kill of their own. But Kevin just TPs out onto site, catches Carlos out. Dank Muffin again just had crept up B main and gets the kill. Darkness able to pick up the Vandal. And then Kevin goes down to the Sheriff from Krillic, so don't count it out yet. It is a 2v3. Spike has been planted. There are guns on the ground. Kevin is able to find one, but this defense from Mississippi State is set up. You have 2 on site. Dank Muffin is holding the flank, and the alarm bot gives away 1. Dank Muffin not able to find the second, gives Krillic a 3rd on the round. The tap firing from Dank Muffin didn't find the headshot for the kill. A little burst fire, not quite able to reset the recoil in time. But round still goes through Mississippi State's way. It's an 8-1 half, or at least a score line so far. Dank Muffin picked up 2 more. Kevin and Yusk another 1 apiece. So that's 3 now in triple digits for Mississippi State. And yet again, even with losing 2-3 members there, still plenty of credits to go around. We'll have to see if SMSU has anything to say on their full buy.
We're in a spot here, going for a 4-1 split, and again, SMSU having to clear that space and losing out the fights. Instantly traded out KO into A site.
Yeah, and with the defending Jet there, I think they may have gotten a little trigger happy. Maybe not figuring they were going to meet the aggression as soon as they did, but they hadn't stopped running to set their recoil before they started firing there. So even if they had the first shot, it wasn't an accurate one. And Panda has walked all the way up, and as Mississippi State has spiked down and is slow playing it, now Panda has made it around behind and makes the opportunity count, picks up 2 more on the chamber, has the ult in the back pocket, but not needed. The Vandal doing more than enough as they stretch this lead to 9-1.
Yeah, I think the thing that SMSU called during that time, I was like, hey, we have to be more aggressive, more coordinated with our attacks. Oftentimes they're just dry swinging singularly. They were just one person fighting, and they ended up in a 5v4. Now they're trying to peak with util, peak with numbers. But still, Mississippi State's prepared for it, and thanks to their double sentinel comp, they're very much aware of when people are trying to push into their space.
Carlos here, Marshall in hand, not able to find it. And again, Dark is trying to push up and play this like corner angle here. Kevin spots it out from that high point and gets 1, able to swing back around. Reach and Brim trying to hold down this A side of what's left of it. They do end up winning their trades. Zenark down to 1 HP by themselves, and yet again, it's Dank Muffin. Is going to get flashed off, but the spray, Zenark swings into it, but the full blind spray was enough. That alarm bot, or excuse me, the bot for Killjoy is going to be spotting out Heaven here. And Carlos going to take it down with the Marshall, but the shot's giving it away. High paranoia. Maybe expecting someone to be up onto the generator, but none there. Solace was backside and doubles up with use. And that's double-digit rounds for Mississippi State. Only giving up 1 so far here in the first half of this one.
Yeah, it's been really great for Mississippi State so far. Like these opening picks are coming in like the first 5 seconds, and the round is already over. Like Luna is really struggling for SMSU. It's tough. They're trying to get opening picks and get an advantage for themselves, for their team. But when you're taking these dry swings and you're just swinging, you're losing. It's like hard to stay positive when you're 1-10 and 1-11.
Yeah, Mississippi State, maybe showing why they picked Ascent here. Maybe they had something in their bag. that they've been hiding away and practicing with. Dank Muffin spots out Darkness, but nothing to show for it. We'll have to see if Darkness chooses to dry swing back. Surely not again, right? But looks like that may be the call. The flash coming through does get the kill onto Dank Muffin. Solace was there, but I believe Solace was flashed off and had to fall back. So that is an opener for SMSU. And not only is it an opener, but it's on Dank Muffin, trying to get that ult orb and build that Killjoy ult once again. Now Carlos getting frisky. Solace call between a rock and a hard place there. Saw a couple, but not able to find any. Two teammates fall. Now Solace having to move around a little bit, knowing that Neural Theft had been used. Does find another. Tapfire coming through down to 1 HP. Gets a third as well. Dashing through. Teammate there. It is Panda. Not able to hit the flick, however. With 1 shot left, going to drop it away. You got 25 seconds. Carlos has spike control. The crossfire set up for SMSU. Great smoke here. Now Panda has to make a decision. Is full flashed and still finds the kill here with 10 seconds left. Had to run through. Carlos made the play sitting in the smoke with the Vandal, knowing he was 1 HP. And so SMSU not giving up without a fight here, does take a second round going into their attack half. But if you're Mississippi State, you only need 3 and you have plenty of rounds to play with, an entire half.
Yeah, I mean, that was a great adjustment from SMSU. They recognized Mississippi State was start defaulting a lot, sending all people around. They heard the orb tap. They coordinated a breach flash with a jet swing on top of it, pick off one, and then the round falls their way from there from that advantage. My only gripe is it's a little bit too late. So it's 10-2. That's normally not within the realm of like comebackable territory, especially when you're going up a KJ and a Cypher on and a Chamber on defense. It's gonna be tough.
Yeah, looking at this comp in the agent selection screen, I thought that this was a more defensive-sided Mississippi State composition. And as you stated, the Killjoy and the Chamber going to do a lot for Mississippi State. Kevin sitting in the smoke here, going to choose to re-smoke himself. But Krillic finds the opener onto Panda. But Yusk sees it through. Kevin with the right, or excuse me, not the right click, has the frenzy and gets 2 off 1 magazine. Huge. There's Yusk with the pop flash. Kevin follows up as well. Great team shots there with the crossfire. And after losing the opener, they drop a second man, I believe, but no more, as Kevin is good for 3 on the pistol.
That was really cheeky from Kevin, playing in his own smoke with that frenzy. Great weapon at that range. But where I really like, even when they're in the advantage, they still were coordinated. They still coordinated use this flashing. And Kevin swings out the smoke at the same time of the flash, coordinating that hit. And so that's what I really like to see. Even though it was at the end of the round, they already hit the advantage. That was really clean from Mississippi State.
We do see here the shorties being invested from the attack side of SMSU. Maybe trying to get something into it. That was not a shorty, however. One of the classics in Carlos getting pop flash. Solace able to make it away in between the Nano Swarm and the Spectre. Dank Muffin's good for 2 more. You hear the updraft from the Jet. Another Nano Swarm utilized. Gonna be stuck in the corner. Odd bounce there. Not able to find the Jet. And as the last one left, the Sharks are in the water. Except in this case, it's the Bulldogs of MSU Black. That it brings it to match point here. Have to see, not enough for full buys, but we do see the SMGs, 1 Phantom invested in, and then the Marshall from Solace. So SMSU, the Mustangs, have their backs against the wall here. Must win rounds the rest of the way through this second half. The shorties did not do whatever they wanted, and now the Rifles will have to in the full buy. Marshall not finding it. Kevin does get a little bit of chip damage off, but smartly retreating away, not wanting to face the brunt of these rifles. The 1 rifle on the side of Mississippi State, however, gonna re-smoke it as well. Does have use sitting in tree room. Looks like the call for SMSU is going to be slowly rotate back towards mid. No aggression, or at least over rotating from Mississippi State, holding their angles. One jet smoke out mid, but that is all of the presence, as all of the presence for SMSU slowly making their way. Spike is slowly rotating through tiles back towards B. Use knows there's no one outside tree room with that knife. Krillic gets chipped down, though. The Marshal from Sala spots out one around that cyber cage. And as time ticks down, 40 seconds remaining. Looks like the call is going to be made to get into mid, but the Nano Swarm holding it down. Carlos is able to get one outside A, but Carlos is by their lonesome. Darkness trying to capitalize off of that, however. Paranoia not hitting Yusk, but the pings are there. Now he hears the footsteps running. The run and gun from Darkness is good for one, and Krillic hits Dank Muffin on the rotation. Solace finds the trade onto Carlos, and now man advantage for SMSU and these rifles. The gun upgrade, but Panda stomping around Krillic on the angle, not going to be able to find it, and the Marshal from Solace finds another before the gun upgrade now. So the 4v2 quickly 2v2, full HP. Now Solace, fearless, dashes out onto site, good for 3. Knows the last is in hell, and Solace, why not give him a 4th and the defuse? And that will be your first map of this best of 3 going the way of Mississippi State.
Yeah. What a dominant victory from Mississippi State. I mean, I was about to mention at the end that Mississippi State, Solace wasn't really fragging out on that jet roll. Normally that's the person to frag out a ton, but then he ends it with a 4K. So, but really, there was no complaints anywhere I had from watching Mississippi State that game.
Yeah, and looking at the final board here, Dank Muffin leading the lobby with 16. Well, actually tied with Yusk with 16. Kevin follows up with 15. Everyone going positive on the side of Mississippi State, and almost everyone with almost a 2.0 KD or better. But SMSU not quite showing up in that first map. Krillic ended up with 11, but everyone else on the board going double, negative, or worse. And Darkness on the jet, just not quite finding that opener. A really, really rough first half. Finds 1 or 2 there towards the end, but not enough going. And 13-2 is your first map. But this is a best of 3. We're going to have an intermission, but when we come back, Mississippi State is going to have the attack side of Lotus. We'll see you in a bit. Welcome back. Thank you for bearing with us. Hopefully, you got some water. Don't forget to stretch. No one wants shrimp back here. But we've got to talk. We're in map 2 of the NECC Division 8 National Tournament. And map 1 was a bit of a cook fest. We got some chefs in the kitchen from Mississippi State. Beau, walk us through what Mississippi State did well on Ascent.
Well, I think the thing you have to call out first is the first blood game. You have your Sentinel, Dank Muffin playing on the KJ, traditional Sentinel. Normally, this agent doesn't get too many first bloods. You're trying to stay alive, keep your util up, especially on attack rounds, so or the flank. 5 first bloods. That's ridiculous. He's taking lots of solo gunfights and and winning a lot of them, putting Mississippi State in huge advantageous positions to help them win the game 13-2.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. Like I called it out during the match. I'm not used to seeing an aggressive attack-sided KJ, and Dank Muffin has made me a believer. On the flip side, SMSU felt like they couldn't get a lot going, and I don't know if it was so much they couldn't get a lot going, or if it was just Mississippi State capitalizing on finding clutch kills and then converting off of them. I think to that second half bonus where Solace found 2 with the Marshall and then picked up the Vandal and inevitably evened up a 4v2 into a 2v2 that Mississippi State was able to convert on. But that was map 1. This is map 2. We're going into Lotus. This is going to be SMSU's map pick, and Mississippi State decided they are going to start on the attack side here as well. Now, we'll have to see if the comps change a little bit here, and as we see the locks from SMSU, a lot of changes going to be made to the agent selections here.
Yeah. So SMSU running that, which I'm really excited to see how Mississippi State deals with this, because Vice traditionally is probably maybe the toughest agent to deal with, especially at a lower level, because that wall and those thorns that come up, you really need to like work the map and bait it out, figure out where the Vice is playing and how to play around that Vice. And if you don't do that properly, a lot of times a Vice can just wreck you on your attack. And so I'm really interested to see how Mississippi State goes and plays around it. Right now, Mississippi State kind of trolling around with their comps. The only one I'm for sure who's going to play what is I'm pretty sure Use is going to be on that Breach. He's been loving the Flash Initiator recently, and the Breach stun fighting for A main has been really good for them recently.
Now I have to call it out. He's part of the production today, but when I see Breach for Mississippi State, the first thing I think of is Will Dubes. So we'll have to see if Use can live up to Will Dubes's Breach of Legend. One thing I want to point out and get your thoughts on: we see the solo smokes in Omen on the SMSU side. We see a lot of what I would consider aggressive agents. We see the Rays, we see the Gecko, and then that Teo as well. So a lot of damage and burst potential with these abilities, but we will have to see if that's going to hold up on this defensive side of the map here as we see the Omen, Vice, mirror picks, and then as I stated, the Breach. We are going to see some Sage, and I love to see some Sage in some competitive Valorant. You know, this was my main back in the day. I'm a bit of an unk gamer at this point, but let me tell you, back in that Valorant beta, back in the year of our Lord and Savior 2020 that we don't talk about, it was absolutely nutty. But a lot of nerfs, a few buffs, and then some more nerfs go in the way of Sage. But I love to see some healer action in the Valorant composition.
Yeah, Sage definitely an old school agent in the competitive sense. But I'm interested to see, like, Panda's never been about what agent he's playing. He's gonna play the same way no matter what. Where he's gonna go balls to the wall, fast as possible, and be trying to get that opening blood for his team. So I see him about to swing out A main with the classics. So oh, wait for the raise mid.
Look, I know the old school Sage. You had the DPS Sage that people used to meme about and get tilted about in ranked with the aggro walls and like the You talk about one-way smokes, but the one-way walls and the cheeky angles you could get to. Not sure how many of those are on Lotus, but the initial fight on this pistol is going to be out A main, and the kills are coming through for SMSU. They do find the first two. Spike is dropped as well, and the quick rotation there as the numbers are on the way of SMSU. But Yu's going to flash out, get a lot of information here, but runs out of the smoke with his knife. Not able to find any kills with that, however, as two more kills go by way and the last goes through. So that's a flawless pistol for SMSU. Had to like to see a little bit of life from the defenders here. And if you're Mississippi State, like, all right, you won the first one handedly, but you got to focus up a little bit here.
Yeah, I think that one, obviously a little bit misplay. You swinging out with his knife out, obviously not intentional. Meant to have his pistol out. But two, I think this is going to be a recurring theme throughout the map. Is there's a little bit of a comp diff here for SMSU. With the Tejo, the Gecko, the Raise Nades, and Omen Paranoia, they're going to be able to fight for that A rebel control at the start of rounds a lot. Like you see Raise Nade, boom, and it's like they take that A main space, and now they only have to worry about C and B. And on that C site is that Vice Wall. It's going to be tough for Mississippi State.
And then once the initial contact is made, you now see the Teo utility utilized as well to slow that push, and then the Vise of utility as well. So a lot of not only damage, but just stall potential here. And now Carlos pushed up, had the Outlaw in hand. Didn't see any Outlaws in the first map, to my knowledge. But now a lot of splits here, a lot of broken fights going to be taking place as we get further into this round. Yusuke has made it through the Vice utility, but with that wall going up, is on an island for the moment. Dank Muffin going to be trying to bait out a little bit. Does eventually find the kill onto Zenark, but not before Yus goes down. That Spectre finding some. The classic at range going to go down to the Spectre as well. Kevin not able to find a kill. Panda called out at Dirt Mound, and then the Outlaw from Carlos finds a second. So only one member of SMSU going down in round two. And now we'll have to see the full buy from Mississippi State. Now with rifles in hand, they're playing into the bonus. And we're going to kick it back to the lobby here. I have to see if the text box is going to give us any indication as to what happened here. It looks like everyone is not sure what happened. I see a lot of DCs, but it looks like members from both teams are very confused as to what just happened.
Yeah.
So while we try to figure it out and production tries to figure it out and the players try to figure it out, we're going to throw it to a quick intermission. And once we get all of the wrinkles smoothed out, we will be back. Hopefully it doesn't take too long. Go get you some water. Stretch.
it.
Alrighty, ladies and gents, we are back. Still don't have a direct answer. We're gonna call it a client-side bug. Riot, fix your game. However, we're going to get back into the third round here momentarily. We had to reset the lobby. The kills are the same across the board. We're going to make sure the players have the same buys they had going into this third round. Money may not be exact, but nobody's perfect, as Hannah Montana once said. However, it looks like we are ready to get back into this third round here. SMSU up 2 rounds to nothing after dropping map 1 13-2. Lotus was their map pick starting on this defensive side as Mississippi State chose to go on the attack side first. But looks like MSU's ready, SMSU's ready, and the production is ready. So as the timer ticks back down, Beau, what do you think the comms are like for Mississippi State here? Outside of our technical difficulties, what are they trying to set up for this full buy round?
Well, I think they're going to try and find a way to get past this A main pressure. This raise nade, this gecko util is all going to come in trying to stop them from getting past A. They need to find a way to get past this quickly.
There is the raise nade setting it out. Panda goes down to Carlos, however. A little overextended on that peak, does go down. So early main advantage for SMSU. They made it through one. The paranoia flashing out. Darkness is going to get the kill is Solace before being Gecko Flash. Now Hyena's got to make his way back through Broken Door. Solace peeking out, but no one peeking down the short stairs. As Kevin is trying to spam out in case anyone's trying to be cheeky around the box. Going to smoke out the half wall. Great smoke there too. The only way to see through that is if you actually push through the half wall, but you'll be able to see the gun barrel first. No one deciding to do that yet. Now Mississippi State slowly making their way out onto this A site now. Solace is going to get paranoid off, but the other teammates are not. Yusk and is going to be able to find that kill before Hyena trades onto Solace. Spike is going to get planted, however, that breach util staving off Hyena before he goes down. And Kevin watching the flank, great job there. Doesn't find the kill. Dank Muffin takes it onto Zenark, but making everyone aware of his presence, and now Carlos having to back away knowing the crossfire is coming. 1v3 here, but not backing away and going to save yet. The drone from Tejo getting the momentary flash, but Yusk able to find the kill, and that's MSU's first round. The third one in the lobby and in the match, but the first for MSU as they bring it back 2-1 here, and they keep 3 rifles in hand.
Yeah. So State had a little bit different idea for me that round. I wanted them to fight it immediately, get past that util. They decided, hey, we're gonna chill out for a second, but we're gonna refight it cleanly. So with the Vice Flash and the Omen Paranoia, they were able to fight and pick off that raise and get into an advantage. So that's also an idea you can have. I'd like to see them try and get past it originally. I think they should be able to do that, but hey, whatever works.
Looks like C is the initial call. Here will be a gunfight around the dirt mound. Carlos played up close on it, however. The flash comes through and does find one. Panda is able to trade back the Marshal this time, not the Outlaw, but Dank Muffin follows through onto Zorak, and it's a 2-for-1 for Mississippi State here. A lot of blinds and utility being used to halt that Mississippi State push, but Kevin is there for 2 onto B side and clears the way. The train is chugging through now. Now Panda made a little bit of noise and found it out, got the headshot angle and takes down Krylik as Spike is planted in B. Krylik just out of no right place to go in that position. Mississippi State, a masterclass on that one.
Yeah, so really they got caught out initially. The Vice Flash got 3 of them. They only really got saved because Panda hit a ridiculous Marshall shot, headshot to keep him back into the round. Something I also thought was really funny in that round is the Vice was dead and they saw the Vice wall up, and I think they thought the Vice wall was still going to trap them, so they waited in front of it, and then they were like, wait guys, Vice is dead. We can chill out. I'm pretty sure, maybe I'm misreading it, but I'm pretty sure that's what happened. That was pretty
Hey, better safe than sorry. Does end up getting a round win. A lot of utility utilized there, and the shorty Darkness push through ahead of it all. Takes down Solace. Is going to get the weapon upgrade if they want as well, but has to be careful to play his life. Kevin is creeped up here. Is going to have the off angle on Krylik. Takes some damage, but, or excuse me, only takes 1 shot from the frenzy, but is able to find the kill there. Even things back up at 4. Dank Muffin, not expecting Hyena to be on that close side. Yusk able to hit the flash and the headshot. Great stuff there. Breach ultimate utilized, but not following up yet. Pistol's doing a lot here against Mississippi State. Has Panda tagged down low, but Kevin is able to find the kill. And now Carlos grabs the rifle, but Panda gets the follow-up. 1v2. Spike is down. It's just Carlos. 5 HP in a dream. Not unwinnable, but being smoked off here, you're going to have to make a pretty crazy play. Not bad to initial with the bot, but you have to follow it through. And once you give away your position, smokes don't stop bullets. And Kevin puts Mississippi State up in this one, 3 rounds to 2 after dropping the first 2.
Yeah, they listen to me. The jet dashing past to Rubble, but unfortunately, Ray's completely blast backs in with a shorty and completely picks him off. I was very surprised by that aggression that came out from SMSU, and it almost worked out for them, except Mississippi State just kind of won with the gunfights. Having better guns, they were able to win a lot of key gunfights, and that ended up being the difference maker in that round.
And as we saw momentarily, Zenark here with the Odin yet again. Maybe a bit of a favorite after we saw it make its appearance on Ascent in map 1 as well. It's only Dank Muffin here outside C this time. A lot of presence outside of B. The trade initially comes through. Carlos trades onto Dank Muffin before falling. Solace made his way out onto side here. B side has been taken from Mississippi State. A quick execute here. Teo utility not going to find it. The breach utility going to stave off that initial take, but the spike never went down. Panda good for 1, but traded. Nice back and forth from Hyena. The Omen for Mississippi State did teleport out. Trying to get behind. Yusk playing close. Hyena trades yet again before falling. Trades back and forth here. It's a 1v1. Kevin had made some noise. Carlos knew he was there, but right place, right time, right crosshair placement. Kevin, again, last one alive, leading the squad for MSU with 6 kills and willing them to a 4th round win.
Yeah. Really impressive stuff from State there. They've been losing that C fight a lot. I really like what SMSU is doing with the Vice Flash, having a Vice Flash high over top of C. So anytime you're peeking out of C, you can be Flash. You could be Flash instantly. So you have to really be ready for that. It's allowing them to win a lot of gunfights. But Mississippi State, again, winning lots of key gunfights on their site hits, allowing them to get into post plants where they just dominate.
Big split here for Mississippi State. Early sight towards that dirt mound, but not overextending, wary of that Vice Flash. Great crosshair placement from Solace. Takes down Krylik, able to bust a little bit of that utility. Panda does get stunned out, but the kills come through for Mississippi State. Dank Muffin takes down Zenark. Only 1 Vise allowed in this lobby, at least for this round. Kevin creeping up, Darkness stomping around, and also doubles up onto Hyena. Nice shots from the Omen with the Phantom. Now Panda running and gunning, but the Stinger at close range. Deadly, deadly. 1v4 here. Carlos trying to get away. Kevin not able to find him. Almost toadstools him there. Does eventually find the kill.
Yeah. That was, I have to say, I was saying this a lot in their grand finals match last week, but that was pretty beast mode from Kevin Oyo. His nickname, Kevin Beast Mode Oyo. He just pulls out stuff like that, TPing on you, making you miss, and making you look stupid, really. And that was definitely another moment of that. Hilarity coming out from MSU on a what was an eco for SMSU. So SMSU coming in with a buy, with the Gecko, Raze, and Omenal online. I'm thinking that they're gonna go back to the old grind. So they're gonna fight for A main and rely on that Vice C, because they know if Vice gives up C, they'll still be able to come in with that retake with the huge Gecko and Raze all forcing MSU off the site. So I'm thinking this is the round. If it's gonna happen, it needs to happen now for SMSU to bring it back.
And on the side of Mississippi State, you see the Sage ult. You have the Jet Knives as well as the Steel Garden for Vise. The Jet Knives can be used to initial if you want, but you'd almost have to think. I mean, the Sage Res is definitely a more defensive ult or a numbers equalizer. But that Steel Garden, you almost want to hold it for the post plant if you can, but could also be used to take space. Could be a battle of ultimates here in round 8. Rifles across the board. Looks like the early presence made towards B yet again. Carlos, knowing that no one's outside C, that call's going to be made. But instead of pushing up, is going to fall back. Sage playing a lot safer, playing that second angle with Kevin. But playing the angle does fall. Kevin stuck with a paranoia in hand. Not able to double up either. Smoke comes through, but Yusk is here. Gonna play into where the first player fell. But Dank Muffin goes down as well, and that's 2 of your ults out of the way already. Solace is gonna find a kill through being stunned, finds a second as well. Almost a third before falling to Hyena. Do see the what might as well be a Call of Duty kill streak utilized from SMSU. But when the gun smoke settles, not singing country music here, it is a 2v2, 30 seconds left. Mississippi State has rotated around to Seaside. They have it for free, but with that spike going down, SMSU is going to know something is afoot. As the rotation comes through, we'll have to see if they choose to split or play it together. Do have the Gecko ult as well. Could isolate a fight here. Is going to be utilized. Hughes trying to get away from it. Not able to find it, however. The blast is good onto Carlos, however. Stays alive, plays with the teammate. Kevin is there to keep his Yusk alive. And that is a great job from Yusk. Knowing that you're not going to outrun it, you didn't shoot it to destroy it, but almost setting up and baiting Carlos and SMSU, knowing he was going to get hit, timing that breach charge on the entry, getting a kill, doing some chip damage, and then Kevin playing the follow-up.
Yeah, huge round for MSU. After seeing that round, I don't know how SMSU is going to be able to bring it back. They had a great position with the Gecko ult and everything on the retake, and they still couldn't win it. So I don't see how they're going to get enough rounds to win this game.
Yeah, broken buy from SMSU as well. Mississippi State still 3 ults online. We do see the Bucky around the corner here. Will Solace expected. Playing off the angle for the rifle. You do see the shoulder is able to get the hit. Krillic knowing with a kill that fast, you're not going to find much from it. Solace checking corners. Not able to find the kills. There was 1 rifle on board, and Krillic did have it. Kevin hearing those sheriff shots. Mississippi State being stalled out with that Vice utility. Not able to make it to C. Instead, going to make it towards B. We do see the res coming through. Solace is back in action. The paranoia off the counter, but not expecting Panda to be holding the angle. Dank Muffin wants to get in on the party as well. And the Raise ult good for 3. The door closed behind Mississippi State, and there was nowhere to run. Huge round turner for SMSU. A huge 3K. Gun barrel spotted by Kevin. That spike as well. But when it all comes down to it, Kevin's Phantom is enough. You do see the Sage Wall coming through as well. Darkness is allowing it to fully form, so you're going to have to, within the time it takes to break, Spike's going to go down. Kevin's going to at least play off contact. Doesn't hit the kill, is going to get that teleport out of harm's way for the moment. Able to play with the teammate there. And now it's just playing time. Panda not playing with Kevin, instead going to reposition here. Makes it all the way around. For the off angle, not spotted out. Darkness has 4 on the round off of the res. Not going to get the 5th, however. Panda after a dicey one. Everything looked to be going Mississippi State's way, but one showstopper almost did exactly that for Mississippi State.
Yeah. We
But the
saw a little bit.
Res leaving a sixth man alive, and Panda is able to bring Mississippi State a seventh in a row.
Yeah, we saw a little bit of a traffic jam incident there. Everyone's trying to go through the door means no one can go through the result, and three of you die off one play. Still, Mississippi State with superior gunplay has been able to bring it back every round. So like even with losing 3 to the result, they still find a way to win the round. That's what's been impressive today.
Yeah, shots on point for Mississippi State. They're winning a lot of their duels, and this is on the attack side. You almost think of Sage as a more defensive-sided agent as well. With that wall, with those slow orbs, we do see the Steel Garden coming through and the counter as well, but Dang Muffin getting the best of the counter Vise. Only the classics in hand. It doesn't matter if you pick it up, you still can't use it, buddy. Is going to get flashed out as well. I don't know if you call it a flash or a gooing, but we'll let chat decide that one. Either way, going to be able to find the kill. The Panda dropping that wall. Acrylic not able to break it in time. The slow orb over the top as well. Now Carlos running through, utility in hand. Love to poll chat to see if Teo is also considered an iPad gamer.
Ooh.
Similar to KO and Brimstone. Darkness good for one, but use trades off, and that's an 8 for Mississippi State after a couple of ults invested into that one.
I really think you should add that into your repertoire, Bailey. I think you should be saying that Gecko gooed their opponent. Like, I think you should be like, oh, Gecko with the goo.
Done been gooed.
Yeah, Gecko, like, uh-oh. Teo just got gooed off the site, and they could, there wasn't much they could do there after being gooed. I think that would really bring what we need from the broadcast. I think that would bring a lot.
Not sure we're going to hear that on any VCT broadcast, but we're not quite to that level. However, what we are seeing is some high-level gun skill from Mississippi State. They dropped the first 2, able to take the next 8, and SMSU not finding much success here. Mississippi State's been able to do a lot of whatever they wanted to. We have seen some flashes of brilliance from the Mustangs, but the execute has been called out, and Use finding the opener onto Darkness through a lot of ability usage from both sides. Solace finds another. The drone from Carlos is getting some value, but Kevin is just taking everyone out through the smoke. Hyena, Gecko last left alive. Only a sheriff in hand, and I don't know if the entire police department would be enough to bring this round back for the Mustangs. Flawless for Mississippi State brings them a 9th, and only 2 rounds left in the half. It's looking eerily similar to map 1 here.
Yeah, I mean, I thought after I saw the pistol win from SMSU, I thought this was going to be, okay, this is their map pick. They're going to have the initiative and know really want to do. But how we've seen Mississippi State play around that A fight, and SMSU mysteriously not leaning into it as much in the later rounds, that it's really been a perfect recipe for MSU domination.
And now for SMSU, you kind of want to stem the bleeding here. You still have another half. You just got to get to it. But the more you can win on this side here, as the operator has come out, Solace's Jet gets the opener on the one-shot kill. I mean, it was a triple swing into Carlos, but does fall. Kevin finds another onto Darkness. That opens up the A site. The utility is going to be holding off that broken door counter. Acrylic does fall. There is one left. It is the Vise left momentarily. Yusk gets another. No visual hindrances from the Gecko ability in this round, as that is another flawless for Mississippi State, and they bring it to double digits here.
Yeah, I mean, we've been really given a treat from players like Kevin, Oyo, and Yusk today. I mean, Kevin and Yusk were I believe the top frags from Mississippi State last round. Actually, Dang Muffin was in there as well. But today in Lotus, Kevin's going 15-4, Yusk 13-5. If you've got 2 players popping off like that, there's not much of a way you can't win. your games.
Yeah, it almost seems like they're pugging here. And now on that defensive side, now SMSU, they had the highly, the comp that they went with on their agent selection seemed to be more of a damage focus comp. But we'll have to see if the Sage is able to stall this out. The one-shot headshot from Carlos and a follow-up as well. SMSU's not out of this yet. The Teo finds both kills there and a third. Carlos has had enough, ladies and gentlemen. Acrylic takes down Yusk in the corner, so no ace, but Carlos being the one to W key here as well. Solace knowing that it is only a matter of time. Spike has been planted. Trying to counter the over-aggression here, but as the members of SMSU come through, he knows he's trapped onto site. He hears the steps coming through the water, does get one on the headshot, not able to find the second, however. Hyena finds one, but Carlos with the back-to-back headshots, making it a 5v3 on that B entry. And that's the pistol for SMSU. That's one thing we did not see in map 1. And we'll have to see if the W-heavy agent selection is going to be able to snowball off of the pistol win.
Yeah, I thought that was a good situation for MSU. They were running straight into the Sage wall, 2 Sage slows, all the util from Panda, but Teo just sneaks past that Sage slow and is able to get a pick on Panda and just keeps speeding up from there. As soon as you can't stop him once, it just keeps going. The energy train keeps going.
Now we do see not only the Omen smoke, but also the paint shell forcing Panda off of that angle if they wanted to play in the smoke. Dank Muffin gonna respect it, however, have the crossfire set up. That close range stinger could do a lot of damage, but Zenark is wary of Kevin sneaking across on this backline here. Not able to find the shots with the Bulldog, however. Counter utility coming through. A little bit of panic from Zenark. They're not wanting to go down. Solace finds the opener, but Acrylic trades onto Yusk. It's a battle in B. Blast pack utilized, and the Judge coming through for Darkness. Panda does find a kill, however. But the Boombot clearing out, letting them know there is one person close. You don't have Spike. You have to get it, pick it up, put it down. Now, numbers the way of not SMSU, but Panda has picked up a stinger. 7 shots, and that's enough. And now you have a Phantom. It's a 1v1 here. Is going to tap it, baits him out, comes off of it, doesn't have the HP to play with. 10 seconds left on the heal. Is baited out with the fake teleport. It's a classic play from the Omen, and Krylik plays it to perfection. And that's back-to-back rounds. They win the bonus. It is costly for their economy, but they do win a second in a row as well. So now Mississippi State gonna have guns in hands. Panda not gonna be able to afford a rifle after the stinger, but Spectre can do just as much damage, especially if those attackers are caught in some of those slow orbs.
I think that stinger buy was well worth it from Panda. I mean, being able to get 4 on that round and only have to buy a stinger next, and having SMSU not be able to really buy this round, really worth it.
Not a lot of value coming from the paint shells or the drone, but instead space is going to be taken for SMSU outside of C. Mississippi State quick to rotate as well, completely giving up A. And it looks like SMSU may have been banking on that, as 3 members, including Spike, are swinging back around spawn towards A main here. It's going to be just Yusk holding it down. Does have the headshot onto Darkness. So that's the opener and the information. Did get tagged down, knows there's at least one more. Gonna make sure no one is hiding in this close angle and forcing it out for Solace to get another. Still gonna be playing out, gets one, keeps their life. Yusk trades up as well. Last one alive is Kevin, got hit with the paranoia. And that's a flawless full buy for Mississippi State. And with only 2 rounds left here, Mississippi State is in a great position after dropping the first two rounds yet again in this half.
Yeah, I mean, really a great round from State there. How you aware that hey, we're silent C and B, we're stacking there. I need to re-clear A, even though it's not the greatest fight. He knows he's got the better gun, and he can win and take one or two down with him, and he does exactly that. He hits a great shot on what I believe was the raise there, and really opened up
Yep.
the round.
Yeah, taking out darkness provided a little bit of a balance tip for Mississippi State in that round. You know, a little bit of a chess match onto rotate, counter rotate. But for SMSU here, all five members outside of a main and slowly walking their way out. Mississippi State left Omen on an island for the moment. Solace is there to peek out of stairs. The comm comes through, the counter paranoia off the door opening. Kevin TP'd up top is going to get visually impaired, but gets one, gets two, has spike, and the door is closed. A great teleport from Kevin here. Full control. Solace does go down, but the rest of SMSU have been countered. And just like that, it's only Carlos left. Panda's going to pick up a rifle for his troubles and a third for Kevin. Why not? A great teleport. Gets flashed off knowing he hit the paranoia. Flashes on top of the rotating door and gets two.
Yeah, this is I mean, that's quintessential Kevin Oyo. He will pull plays out like that all the time. I was like, not like I think like a few days ago, I was talking to Ben. I myself am an Omen player, Omen enthusiast, my most played agent. I was talking to him. I was like, I don't think like that TP, doing that TP in that spot is really ever good. I think it's kind of easily caught out. But hey, Kevin's just smarter than me. That's my bad. I didn't think about that.
And Solace pulls out the operator with only one round left before taking map 2 and taking round 1 of this finals best of 3. That's an opener already. Does get outside of the Teo ult. Panda gets another. Not able to hit that off shot, but Panda follows up with a second. And just like that, it's just Carlos left with a Guardian in hand. Gets Panda, who had dashed through or walked through the smoke, gets a second and a third. Carlos has had flashes of brilliance here. Pulls a 5v1 back to a 1v2. Only 8 HP left. Not able to find Dank Muffin. The headshot is enough. 13-4 is your final in map 2. It was a 13-2 map 1. 13-4 map 2, and Mississippi State had a few shaky moments here in map 2, but at the end of the day takes map 1 and 2 convincingly and takes the opening round of your NECC Division 8 Nationals.
Yeah, I mean, really exciting stuff from Mississippi State. We saw a lot of quintessential, like how each and every one of them like to play. We saw Kevin. I mean, we got gifted a treat from Kevin at the end, playing like that, TPing on his opponents, making people look foolish.
Welcome back. I'm Dancing Buffalo here with Beau, the post game wrap up or post match wrap up of your NECC Division 8 Nationals. Mississippi State puts on a masterclass against SMSU. The Mustangs not quite up to snuff. The Bulldogs were able to out wrangle the Mustangs in this rodeo here. We've got a couple of players we're going to talk to here. We've got Tyler Panda and Will Dank Muffin. My first question, Panda, as I said it on the broadcast, Sage is near and dear to my heart. I just need to know what went into the Sage pick going into map 2. Love to see it.
Oh,
I just Sage
True. Big if true and true if big. I'd never
big if
seen
true.
Sage played on Lotus. I was interested to see. You know, I'm used to seeing the TikTok clips from like 3 years ago of like Sage on Icebox and on Bind, but love to see the Sage pick.
So the main reason why I really picked Sage was like, it was a teammate on the white team, and he just showed me all of the Sage walls. So I never got to pull them off because they just kind of left me alone on C. So I still got to play it, which was nice.
Hey, the best thing about that is there's more Valorant to play. Y'all are moving on in this tournament, so like, hey, if that's a pocket pick, we can still see it.
Right.
my next question is for Will Dank Muffin. Will, so previously for this team, you stuck to initiator a lot of time. We talked last time. We talked last time about your transition into this Sentinel pick, how you're more comfortable there, and how that's what you want to continue doing. But I'm watching the first map, and I'm watching you guys attack on KJ, and I'm watching you get 3 first bloods in a row in the very first rounds of the game, and 5 first bloods overall through the map. Like maybe like some of the most aggressive and round winning KJ I've seen so far. How do you think your previous like initiator gameplay has affected your new KJ gameplay?
Well, playing initiator has really just made me, I guess, more confident, I guess, in my peaks. So I'm not too afraid to just dry swing, especially as KJ. But also, like, I watch pro players like Meteor. He played KJ. He was super aggressive, and I would just love to like copy him, swing off of whatever. And like this time it worked. Most of the time it doesn't always work, but I just really enjoyed playing Initiator, and then I took everything I've learned from Initiator, brought it back to Sentinel.
Yeah, I mean, there's not really a better player on Sentinel that you can learn from other than Meteor. So I think you picked a good role model to build your game off of there, and I think it's really showed in your gameplay. So that's always super exciting to see.
Thank you.
Yeah, you called out the KJ play in map 1, but the Vice plays on map 2. There was one round in particular that I want to ask about when you all were on the attack side and the counter Steel Gardens came out. What kind like I know like once you get into the all right, we're going to execute now. It's just like W key, hit your shots. But when everyone goes from rifles to pistols, is there anything that goes through? And I guess this is a question for both of you. Because I know I believe it was a Yusk ran out onto site with pistol in hand and tried to pick up someone else's Phantom, and then it immediately just went back to his classic. So is that something that y'all like practice or prep for, or was that just like an in the moment? Oh, both Steel Gardens came out at the same time.
It was kind of just in the moment Steel Gardens, because I popped mine first, and then as soon as I popped it, he popped his. So I think he kind of just anticipated that I was gonna pop mine, and so he popped his so that we could be on even playing fields. But I don't think he was anticipating all of us just running out as soon as we popped it. Especially when
Four classics coming around the corner.
Yeah, exactly. And I got lucky. I still had my Vandal out before his actually like fully went off, and I think he got kind of scared because he just saw me swing him. But I mean, even if it's classic v classic, I think we still win. I trust him. I trust in our abilities.
Yeah, that on that, I think that was just a really big aim game. Like,
Yeah.
if you win, or you had better aim, you just win the round. Then that's just where it ended up. There were rounds that we fell off a little bit, but no one's perfect. We all gotta shine.
Agree. Never truer words have never been spoken. My last question is here for you, Tyler. Tyler, you know this series we saw you on the Sage and the Chamber, but traditionally for this team you had been playing a lot of Jet and Duelist. I kind of miss my psychopathic Jet running it down and winning games, bringing a 3K and being playing crazy. Will I get to see that psychopathic Jet later in the tournament, or is it done? Is it have you given that role to Solace?
I think we'll put it in the freezer for now. We can thaw it out in the coming
Okay.
days. We gotta let Solus have his sunshine.
Okay. I see. A real good teammate you are. Real good teammate you are.
Alrighty, gamers. Well, thank y'all for taking the time to catch us up with everything that went on after tonight's match. All of you viewers at home, thank y'all for watching at Twitch. Special thank you to our production team. We had an all-star cast this evening with Ben, Jacob, and Will helping behind the scenes. I've been Dancing Buffalo. Beau has been my co-caster for this evening. And don't go anywhere. With a win tonight, we are still in this national tournament. Valorant NECC Division 8 goes on. Mississippi State Black does win the round 1 best of 3 against SMSU. We'll see you guys soon.